What's going on, YouTube? So I've decided to make a custom 57 Chevy, which is one of the most epic cars ever made. I actually prefer the 55 to the 57, but these classic shoe boxes are fantastic cars. Would love to get my hands on a real one, but I'm gonna try and customize this one and probably send it off to 3D Bot Maker and Race Mountain Speedway, along with my custom Miasto Rosewood I made a little while ago. So here is the donor car. It's the Valentine's Day 57 Chevy, and there's going to be quite a few changes made to this car. Here's the car completely disassembled. I saved you the boredom of watching me drill it out. If you have any questions about how to drill it, let me know. Here's the car after I stripped the paint with the citrus paint and varnish stripper. Came out very well. The casting was in pretty good shape. There's a few spots, especially on that front quarter panel, that need a little bit of work, and you'll see a little later the front hood had a few spots that needed some work, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time trying to fix the body on this one. I used P3 black primer to prime the car. If you've ever used this primer, it is fantastic. It is expensive though. I think this can cost me $9.99, $10 for a can of primer. But it went on smooth, went on well, and I was half tempted to just clear coat it right now and leave it at that. But I didn't. I decided to paint the car Krylon Color Master True Blue. I found with these Krylon aerosol paints that it is better to go with a heavier coat than lighter coats. It just goes on smoother and you end up not having a whole lot of orange peel or runs. This turned out pretty well. I still had to wet sand it and do a little bit of touch up to the paint. I ended up taping the car off to try and recreate the chrome that is on the 57 Chevy, but in blue. Turned out okay. It was kind of hard to get both sides identical, but it turned out pretty well. I'm pleased with it. I still need to do a little bit of work on it, but ultimately I think it turned out pretty well. I used Testors silver enamel paint pen to do the highlights on the fender wells, the headlights, the windshield, and the windows. This was my first time using a paint pen, and it came out okay. It got a little clumpy here and there, but I need some more practice with it. I used Testors spray lacquer clear coat to clear coat the car. It went on very easily. I used a little heavier coat than normal, and I think it turned out pretty well. There were no runs or orange peel, and as you can see here, it's almost a mirror finish, so it turned out pretty well. I made that black paint pop. And I used a windshield from a Racing Champions 57 Chevy. The Valentine's Day one has a red windshield, and I originally painted it blue, and once I put it in the car, it just didn't look right. So I had this one lying around. It was all beat up, so I salvaged the windshield from it, and it actually fit in here pretty well. And here's the car put together. I think the front wheels I pulled off a Tankinator, and the rear wheels are from a Street Creeper. I polished the axles, used a little graphite, added some weight to the car, and spent a little bit of time of painting the wheels to match the car a little bit. I need to do a little touch-up paint on the wheels to make the paint a little bit better, but as you can see, it rolls pretty well. So we'll see how it does on Race Mountain Speedway. I don't know. I just hope it gets down the track, quite honestly. After letting the clear coat cure for a couple days, I polished it with Meguiar's Ultimate Paste Wax. It turned out pretty well. You can see on the side there I got a little scratch trying to remove something that was in the paint. I ended up touching that up with a black paint pen. I really like the paint scheme on the car. I think the blue and the black work well with each other, especially it being a brighter blue. Kind of stands out a little bit against the black car. And even the wheels turned out pretty well, even though I still need to do a little bit of touch up on them, get them looking a little bit better. All in all, I think the car looks pretty good. A little bit disappointed in especially the front headlights, where I used the paint pen and it kind of clumped up and didn't turn out as nice as I wanted it to, but I think that's partly my inexperience with using these paint pens. And right now I have a lot of these aerosol paints, so once I use them up, I plan to learn how to airbrush, and I think airbrushing will really increase the quality of these customs that I'm doing. And here's all the paints, polishes, and glues and paint strippers that I used on this car. All of this can be found at your local stores. Nothing's unique or hard to find. Here are all the drill bits, the driver, and the screws that I used to take this car apart and put it back together. The drill bits can be found at most hardware stores. The driver I found at Hobbytown, USA, but it can also be found on Amazon. And the screws I found on Amazon. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think.